Moving to a foreign place, you don't have to lose yourself to find yourself a new home. They tell you this lie. This country won't accept you for who you were. But who knows who you were in the first place? You are so much more than what they deemed you worth, more complex. My identity journey has always been tied to food. Because this food was tied to steady hands, curious table discussions, and unwavering spirits. Growing up in Germany was a bizarre experience. Like many immigrants, my parents did not know anyone in that foreign country. But like most people, they like good, comforting food. And so, after a few nights out in the city's Chinese restaurants, we have met familiar faces and we made acquaintances. The restaurant owners and waiters soon became our first contacts. They also spoke proudly of their children's education, of long and busy days, and when they are visiting family back home in China. There is a German word called Stammkunde. It means something like regular or returning customer. But the underlying notion consists of so much more. Ask any teen who goes to their favorite local kebab shop. If they are one of the lucky ones, they can count on the kebab worker say, "Everything as usual?" and asking about their day. You step into this shop and you are greeted with the comfort of being known. To be a Stammkunde, at least in my experience of immigrant-owned restaurants, is to return to the non-judgmental, the familiar. It lies in the word. Stammlokal semantically means something like favorite local spot, but literally it says trunk or stem spot. In a way, it does feel like these restaurants connect me to my roots. And going back feels like going back to a third home. My first German tutor was the daughter of a befriended restaurant owner. When she left for her studies, she gifted me a teddy bear that is still lingering for sweet perfume, reminding me of her kind words. She was far more patient than my German teachers at school. I studied countless hours at restaurant tables, surrounded by the smell of spicy flavors and loud chatter. Nearly all of our family's milestones, small or big, were celebrated in a beloved restaurant. An excellent grade on a test, any birthday of a family member, and our German naturalization even. Apart from characters in the books I've read, I had difficulties finding role models when I was little. One exception was the young Korean man who started his restaurant here. His bulgogi tasted impeccable and has not changed in flavor at all over all these years. We found the restaurant in its very beginnings, with only a few bar seats, a small kitchen, and a toilet still under construction. The restaurant owner, maybe in his late 20s or early 30s, soon brought his parents. He worked the hardest, and even to my young self, it was apparent how dedicated he was to this place. Now, newspapers have reported on its popularity and on weekends, we can hardly find a seat without queuing for a while. But whenever the restaurant owner sees us, he winks with a knowing smile. Now, I act as the designated food tour guide on East Asian cuisine for my friends, German and international. This is my way of bringing my worlds closer together. Every time I come back, I am greeted with a huge smile and many caring questions. 你妈妈还好吗？身体怎么样？学习压力是不是很重啊？ The ladies from the dim sum restaurant always comment on my physical growth. 小妹妹，你又长高了，上次只到我们肩膀呢。The owner of another Korean restaurant, a father, likes to tell me about his pride and joys. Ich habe meinen Töchtern von dir erzählt. Ich hoffe, dass sie eines Tages so gut Deutsch sprechen wie du. So gut sind in der Schule. I'd like to think that this effortless and obvious sincerity that was poured into our family is passing through my everyday interactions with strangers and with friends. A generous, no hesitation kind of warmth. In contrast, some of my sisters and my encounters traveling in China has been different. Because German has become our native language, we cannot help but speak in German to each other. Anything else feels alien on the tongue. However, locals rarely encounter Chinese-looking but German-speaking kids on the street, or anyone that is speaking a foreign language. Although China possesses a rich cultural diversity, with 56 officially recognized ethnic groups, foreigners and foreign languages still remain exotic. A phone repair shop owner, taxi drivers, hairdressers, nearly everyone we met were curious and not rarely a bit weirded out. Who are these whitewashed Xianjiao from abroad? Is kind of what I thought they thought of us. In China, when people ask you where you're from, you say your province, for example, Hubei or Hunan, because it is assumed you come from China. Overseas, in the West, they want to know your country of heritage. In other cultures, for example, in Bedouin societies, your tribal affiliation is your origin. But neither of these options fit us right. So, all in all, what people heard is that we are first and foremost not from here. Fast forward to the Chinese restaurants I grew up in. Here, no one inspects. No talk about we, you, them. We don't have to prove anything. We are just children. I think, especially as immigrants, we have a privilege to pick and choose which parts of our cultures we'd like to keep. We don't have to denounce our fellows to be seen as worthy and properly integrated. We don't have to reject our own cultures to embrace new influences. Trust me, there's a difference between a crowded and a full heart. Your heart will not be crowded. It'll be full of love and ideas. Asians are more than hardworking hustlers or awkward maths geniuses. At least I'm not one for numbers. We are all made up of multitudes, and to paint caricatures would be a lazy, racist endeavor. Of my years spent in these restaurants, I highlighted what I learned, which is to see the very best in humans can be easy. Moving to a foreign place is scary, but this community showed me through food and more. You are welcome. You are welcome. You are welcome here.